much.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you. Ooh, hot sauce. I think
We're all
we're
set.
good.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. We live super close to here, like 8 minutes, so, and we really like the food here, so.
How often do you eat here?
For a while, we were actually getting food here pretty often, just because like if it's a lazy Saturday, then we're like, okay, yeah, let's get something easy. Maybe like a couple times a month.
How did you meet?
We were both working at a physical therapy clinic, and I was working front desk, like checking people in, like you basically schedule the physical therapists, like patients and stuff like that. So a lot of like front desk admin work. And then David came maybe like 3 or 4 months into making there, and I was like set to train him. But it was kind of like funny how it happened, because initially I wasn't the one who's supposed to train him, but the main person who works front desk, she was out on workers' comp. So she was like injured, and so like
For a while.
yeah, and I'm like still technically new, you know. I've only been working there like 4 or 5 months, so they probably didn't want a newbie training another newbie, but there was no one else. So yeah, we basically just met as coworkers, but it was cool because I don't think I've ever like had a relationship where it went from coworkers to like friends and then like dating. You know, you just get to know someone much differently in that way.
But the first time you saw him, did you think, oh, he's cute?
No. I was definitely the one who was like, she's cute, and want to talk to her and try to make her laugh and do anything but work. I was the worst trainee. We joke about 100%. That a lot, because I was just totally not interested in learning like how to do the job, you know.
No.
I was just there to like hang out. And the one thing that we joke about to this day is there was like one day in particular, because I'm new enough, so I know how to do some things, but obviously like at that kind of place, like, oh yeah, I can check people in, right? That's like what you think. Oh, right, I can check people in and I can bring them back and I can clean the tables. And so I'm like, yeah, I know what I'm doing. But there's so much more admin work, like managing the therapist schedules and all this stuff, like electronic medical record software that you have to kind of know and understand. I didn't know and understand that yet at all. And I guess in a naive way, I didn't see patients coming in. So I'm like, it's a slow day because to me, there's nothing to do. So I was like, man, it's so slow today. I said that out loud, and Rose was like, don't say that out loud because they're going to come give us more stuff to do.
Yeah.
And I'm over here like working.
I was actively folding laundry when he said, like folding the pillowcases and stuff, when he was like, oh, there's nothing to do today. And I'm like, do you want to come help me like fold the laundry? Like I'm doing something.
Kind of obnoxious.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Definitely.
So I think like sometimes he kind of was like getting on my nerves a little bit, but I think we realized we have like the same sense of humor. We had a lot of like similar interests and stuff too that we liked, you know, both like into music, different genres of music for sure, into games, and both pretty like active people that it just like ended up working out being friends, and then like started dating after that.
Okay, so friends first. So do you recall the very first moment or time where you're like, oh?
I don't know if it was for me until we like actually went on the date.
Even when I was like asked out on a date, I think her response was something along the lines like of, yeah, I'm always open to get to know people. And I'm like, so wait, is this a date or not?
I do social media managing for a small startup company. But one of our clients is like a bigger grocery store. So I guess technically social media for a large-ish grocery store, which isn't like something I love doing. It's kind of fun in some ways because there is some creativity involved in it, but I think more of like the logistical parts of it and like managerial parts of it I don't like as much. But I do actually like working from home, and that's something that I do get to do, which is nice. Yeah. Basically, I kind of help build out the strategy a little bit, because I think sometimes what some businesses try to do is, you know, you just start posting content just to put it out there, but there's no real strategy behind it. There's no like you're not really thinking into, okay, what posts do I want to actually boost and promote? Like, when are we posting it? Like, are we posting it alongside like other things going on actively in the store? And so like kind of building that strategy out a little bit. But I also do like actual content creation. So like creating reels and videos on Instagram.
You understand all this?
A little bit. They actually don't have a YouTube. So we don't have a lot of long form videos. We have a lot of shorter form videos and reels. And recently got onto TikTok too, which is like not my favorite thing to edit on. It's just so hard to keep up with like all of the trends and all of the. I've been trying to explain to them that I think since the grocery store I work for is like started in the 60s, like okay, we have more of like a family, like kind of old-fashioned feeling type grocery store. Like I don't know if we need to be feeding into all of these trends, and they kind of agree with me on that. So
Pretend like you're just living on another planet, and when you get there, they're like, okay, what would you like to be on this planet?
I guess really like it feels very silly, and maybe this is very like I'm not even Gen Z, but it feels like a very Gen Z thing to say, but like I like the idea of streaming to like a community, like active like live streaming, probably like games and stuff like that, and like having an active community like that. I'm like into that community now a little bit, but obviously it's hard to do unless you were like really devoted and, you know, streaming every day. And there's so many big streamers now that it's hard to break into that.
What's your game?
I play some like first person games. There's like games like Marvel Rivals, but I also play more like cozy games like Sun Haven or Stardew Valley. Kind of like a mix because I feel like I like both. There's like I can get pretty competitive, so like that's like kind of the first person like type games, but I also like playing more relaxing games too because I feel like always being competitive like that you get tired of it.
Do you have a creative bone in your body?
Yeah, I also was pretty into writing at the beginning. Like I thought I wanted to be a writer when I was younger, and I would like make short stories and show my parents.
What kind of encouragement did you get?
Honestly, my parents were pretty encouraging about the writing. Like they were even telling me like, oh, you should publish things. I know I was like, I think I was only like 15. They're like, do you want to get anything of yours published? And I'm like, no. Also, like, I don't want anyone like seeing some of this, you know? Some of it now I feel like I would be more open to it, but I'm not as into it as I once was, but I kind of want to start up again because it's really fun.
All right, so do it.
Yeah.
What about you, David?
For which part, creative bone or? Yeah, I played guitar and stuff when I was like a little kid, and I still play a little bit now, like on and off and stuff.
Yeah.
It's actually funny because on the topic of like parents being like a lawyer or whatever, you know, I guess the idea of certain careers being more lucrative, you know, I feel like inherent that some people have that idea of, oh, this is going to be more lucrative, so therefore it's a better career, that kind of thing. But funnily enough, my family on my dad's side is like a family of musicians, like all of them. So like my grandpa was a gigging trumpet player, and how back in the day, not to like say it was that long ago, but when the great jazz musicians would come, because my family's from Australia, when they go to Australia, they don't bring their band. They get the best band in the city that they're playing, and they give them their music ahead of time, like a week, and they say, okay, here Sinatra's coming through, Sinatra Jr. or whoever, and this is what he's going to play, so learn it so that when he comes to town, you know, you be his big band in the background. And that's like what my grandpa did. My uncle, so my grandpa's like eldest, you know, he was also a musician professionally, came to the US to be, you know, professional musician. His kids, you know, his two sons, both professional musicians. My dad is a more hobbyist musician, but also like talented keyboard player, piano player. So music was just always around in the family, and I think if I really, really wanted to pursue music in a like professional career type of way, they would have been all for it. I mean, I would have had the connections to do that. For me, when I was playing, I was taking lessons for a while for guitar, and I kind of reached a point where to myself, I thought, well, all of the genres of music that I enjoy, that I like, I feel like I can comfortably play. If not, I'm confident I could learn that. Like I could learn a song, because when I was younger, a teenager, I wasn't writing a lot, but I was learning, as a part of practice as well. Like you learn your favorite band's songs, so that you can play along to it. It's just fun to like jam to it, because I didn't have like bands or anything growing up, so I had to find ways to entertain myself with music. So I guess once I reached like that point, it was just like a fun hobby to me. And one of my favorite guitar players at the time said, there was like this interview where he was asked like, if you could give advice to a 10-year-old who wants to play guitar, what would you tell them? And his advice was, if you expect anything from music, then you expect too much. You have to play to enjoy it. You have to play for yourself, and that's it, period. Like if you expect to be a star, it's not about that, It's not about like, oh, I'm gonna play guitar or I'm gonna play with XYZ instrument because I'm gonna be famous. Like you can have dreams and whatever, but the root, at least in his philosophy, the root for having a passion in music is not for fame. It's because you enjoy doing it. I go on and off. I wish I played guitar more today. I mean, I have a few and I mess around a little bit, but sometimes with work and other things, I have like other interests too that just take up my time. Sometimes maybe they're not, I don't know if you constitute them as creative, but like I do like playing video games and stuff like that. And sometimes that's nice to wind down, because when I get the guitar out, it's like, okay, go get it and get all my cables and get it set up and like making music. I wanted to like at some point, like work with other artists, like make beats, because I make music on the computer as well, like all digital. There's a time where I wanted like maybe to pursue that as like a side gig or side career thing, make music for other artists to then like sing or whatever. And that ended up just being more of a hobby thing, till eventually when I was living with a friend who we would make music together, we just wanted to like kind of for ourselves have music. This is during the lockdown, so you're inside, there's nothing much going on. We thought like, well, we have all the time in the world right now, so let's try to make a project of some sort and put music on Spotify or whatever. And so we did that kind of just to prove to ourselves, like, yeah, we can do this. But even that is like, it's a long process of judging yourself and whatever. Even now, if I were to do some of those songs again, I listen to them now, I'm like, yeah, like this doesn't sound that good.
Don't think about it. What would you have wanted to be?
Just thinking about it, I honestly might choose like coaching sports, because I was a soccer coach for a little bit. And you don't make a lot of money doing that. Soccer was like my first game that I played and loved. I played soccer and tennis growing up, and then eventually just chose soccer because that was just my true passion. I was an okay player, but didn't play college or whatever. Like I stayed like local, go out of state for college to play soccer or anything. The high school team that I played for, and the coaches who were actually my coaches when I was like 8 years old, they were also my high school coaches, varsity. That just worked out that way. And so they're like, well, you're in town, do you want to help coach the junior varsity? So doing that was like so much fun, because I'm not like the greatest player, but I just love like soccer and love to watch it and like study the game, so teaching kids who are still like they're young but high school age too, that you can teach them and tell them things they'll understand over time. Having a career in music, even if it was like, oh, you don't have to like worry too much if this is gonna like sell, like in this reality, maybe that isn't a concern. I think I would still stress myself out sometimes, because even just making music for myself, like as a hobbyist, it's not going anywhere. I'll open an old file or project on my computer and I'm like, this sucks, or can't help but like have some negative self-talk sometimes. So but with coaching is like, if I say like, oh, this sucks, like I'd be talking about the kids that way, and I don't think I really ever thought about them that way. Like I would never think like, maybe they don't have the like best abilities, but like maybe that's like on me to help them. Like I'm not trashing them, but it's easy for me to trash myself when it's your own art.
I feel like I have had that, but I honestly have to think about it a little bit.
Oh, what did you do?
Or no, I feel like I've thought about that before.
I mean, I don't know if this is quite the same thing, but like I feel like both of us initially had some sort of calling because we were drawn to healthcare. So like our initial like passion for like what we wanted to do, and when you're again, healthcare is another thing. I mean, depending on the person, it's like you really aren't going in for the money. A lot of those people who are, you know, on the ground level, like face to face with patients, are the people that really like care. Something to do with that, a medicinal or wellness thing.
Because I was checking in at a gym, and they're like, you can also lead gym classes too if you want. I mean, it's kind of like a pretty chill gym. So like a lot of the people I was getting in my classes were like pretty novice, like fitness folks. But it was still really fun because like they realize like they love it, and then you can like see that they're enjoying it. You know, their body's doing things they didn't know it could do. You're like helping them push within like a safe limit, because I feel like that's something that I probably would like doing.
Yeah.
I think I was vegetarian first for like 3 years, maybe around like 2021 or something, 2022, I guess. Yeah.
Something.
I was vegetarian. I think just, it was not even, I hadn't even seen like any of those videos that people typically see that are like, oh, I'm done. Like, I think I just realized I wasn't even eating a lot of meat, and I didn't really like crave it. And I was like, I don't know. And it was just funny because my family, traditionally, culturally, on my dad's side, you know, being Native American, like they eat a lot of like meat and stuff. I don't know. I grew up eating it a lot, and then I just felt like I didn't have like the craving for it anymore. I think you became vegetarian shortly after, maybe, and it was like all around the time we were living together. It kind of like helps because you like have another person. We're just gonna make vegetarian
cooking together,
meals.
yeah.
How rival are you guys?
I think there's certain people I've kind of learned that I can be more open about with than others. Like my parents, I should say more so my dad than my mom, is like pretty open to like having vegan foods with us. We'll go to vegan restaurants, and like if we go and eat, like get something vegan from a non-vegan restaurant, he'll order the vegan thing with us. And he's never like said anything bad about that. Yeah. And he's also, I think he has like some understanding of why a little bit. I can be kind of like that with my dad because, you know, my dad is like, yeah, I love animals. I love animals. I've always been that way. So I'm like, if you love animals, like, why do you eat them? You know? And I say that to him, and I don't always know if he knows how to like respond to that, because I do kind of feel that way at the heart of it. You know, if you love animals, why would you want to eat them? But I'm not that way with a lot of other people. I have friends who like I don't say those kinds of things with, but I kind of feel out the conversation, especially if someone asks me. If they're opening the door to like my opinion, like I'll give my opinion, but usually not without them asking first.
Do you ever crave?
No, not really. My brain has gotten like reprogrammed in a sense.
Yeah.
Because like growing up, most, if not all, cultures have some way, shape, or form of this. So, you know, the idea is that, yeah, like you were saying, nourish your body, like fuel your body with the right stuff.
Yeah.
And we're told that it's the right stuff, animal products mainly. And I feel like I kind of just opened a can of worms through like different like vegan activists and the information that they were kind of just presenting it this way. Like, why is it that we, you know, associate meat with protein? Just like how like oil and gas or whatever will lobby politicians, like the factory farmers, Tyson or whatever brands that make all these animal products, they're lobbying the health professionals and like the U.S. Cardiac Association and the U.S. Diabetes Association to say like, this is good. You should say that these are, you know, like Got Milk, for example, strong bones, this and that. It's all propaganda, really, because they have the money to do all that stuff. So, I mean, thinking about things that way was just definitely very interesting. And then also there's like a classic YouTube video that like it was literally like a one night thing. I watched this one video, and a lot of people will say like, oh, I watched this vegan documentary or an animal documentary, and they see all the atrocities that take place, and that's what turns them off. But mine is, it wasn't even a graphic video. It was more of a philosophical video of dissecting every common argument for why you should not be vegan. And then I'm going to tell you why that's flawed.
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, the example, protein. I need to eat meat. I need protein. Classic thing that it's not mentioned in this video, but like, so we think of steak or cow, beef, huge, good protein. What does a cow eat? Where do they get it? They don't eat any animals. They only eat plants, grains, whatever they find on the earth. And they're getting protein out of that. It's getting stored in their body,
Chickens.
A lot of the things that we eat, they don't eat other animals. I mean, and also like to say like one of the strongest like mammals, similar to us or not, like land animal, like gorillas. What are they eating?
Elephants.
Yeah, they're not eating animals. So it's not like, oh, you need this for those nutrients. So that's like, again, it was just unpacking all of these things, and then there's like more and more that eventually I could probably, if I find it in my brain, ramble on forever. But yeah, that's basically like they just presented all the cases and examples for, why or why not, and it just kind of clicked. And the next day I was like, not gonna have any animal products.
Yeah. So this is for you guys to keep.
The books?
Yeah.
Really?
Wow.
Oh, these are nice. It's a nice
Yeah,
sketchbook.
this is a nice sketchbook.
Oh my gosh.
This is for you guys to keep.
Oh wow. Thank you.
Just put your notes in. Okay, these are 03. So
Oh.
Thank you.
don't think so much, okay? So you're just gonna do the two sides of the river, okay? So just go like this. I mean, like, yeah.
Oh, I chucked it. Sorry. Literally before we even start.
It wasn't me.
Do it.
Sorry.
Don't think about it.
Sorry.
Watch the page.
Wait, I can reach. Oh. You got it? Sorry. I don't know what I did. It must have like fallen out of my fingers. Sorry, thank you.
Take two.
Take two. Oh,
Okay,
sorry.
so what we're gonna do is, yeah, it didn't land on the, okay.
Oh,
so
good.
Big strokes.
Oh, okay.
Use your arm. There you go. Don't think so much. Perfect. Okay. Then what you're gonna do is over here, you're gonna do a, this is gonna be the tree. So you're gonna make a trunk. So let's just go like this. That's the trunk. Big. There you go. Perfect. Doesn't matter how good or bad it is. Okay. So now what you're gonna do is this is the tree trunk. Here's the river. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then on this side, you're gonna do the horizon. So all the perspective, everything out the window, right? So on the horizon here, you can either go with the river or you can cut across, because that would be weird, which is awesome, right? So you're just gonna make, like, those are hills in the background. Don't even think about it. Yep. Okay, awesome. All right, now we're gonna start. This is like very strange, but this is how we're gonna start. We're gonna draw a fish in the middle. Okay. So just wait. Okay, I don't want you to like stress out about if this fish is right or not. Okay, so you can make a fish any way you want. The easiest way to do it is to just do a circle and then a triangle at the end.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to try to be more anatomically correct, maybe you do an oval and a triangle at the end. But it's going to be going up or down. It doesn't matter. But do like 3 fish going across the river. Okay.
Okay.
It doesn't have to be perfect. You don't even have to be going in the same direction. Think big.
Oh.
Make a big one. Make one more right here. Huge. Giant. That's the mama. Yep. There you go. Awesome. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're building the foundation, and then you're going to go in, you're going to do fill-in spaces, okay? And right now you're going to look at it and go, oh my God, my 4-year-old niece or nephew. This is what it looks like.
Yeah,
Okay,
literally.
That's fine. Okay, over here, this is. Don't make this more difficult than it feels. Okay, but you're gonna do like the mid-sized branches. Okay, so I usually do 3. 2 is weird. If you look at trees, they rarely ever have just 2. Fill your drawing. Yes.
Can I do more?
That's fine.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, that's fine. And you're going to cut off. You're going to cut it off right there. That's the end of your branch. Okay, just cut it off like this. Okay, we're there. We're basically finished with our composition pulp, right?
Okay.
So go to your 3. We're going to start filling spaces. So this is where if you want to follow me, you can, but I would say if you get bored, because I have a little ADHD, I don't have a little, nobody has a little. I'm totally full-blown ADHD. I could be working on something for like 3 seconds and go, oh, I'm done with that, go to another. Basically, you're making
The bark.
the bark
kind of thing.
Okay? All right, so enjoy yourself.
Okay.
Not in any hurry. So David, you're at a good spot. So now what you want to do is you're going to add a little more texture to what you have, okay? So do me a favor and go between the lines, going this way.
Yeah.
Add 1 in between each one. It doesn't have to be perfect.
Okay.
This way, like. See, you have lots of white space.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. You can fill in that space later. So now what we're going to do is the difference between let's say a child doodling and an adult doodling is we have so much more in our heads about what's right and wrong. But one of the things that I like to do to keep you in your art is to ground it. So right now we're falling off the page, all of us, right?
Yeah.
However you want to do it, there's no right or wrong, but somehow I want you to ground it. Do what you want. You can just do a straight line and hook up flowers. Guys don't usually do flowers, so don't be a typical guy to go up like this and do flowers or whatever you want to do. And then my favorite flowers are just the simplest ones. You have the circle and you do this. Okay, going back to textures. So inside here, do the negative thing. We're going to do leaves, okay? They can be circles or they can be actual shapes of leaves, so you can go like this. But do them big enough so that you can color it around them, okay? So now I'm going to fill it in, except for where you have drawn the leaves. Because a boring doodle is one that doesn't have any bold textures. So I'm going to show you something that makes your art a little funkier. So I have the fish in the background. It's behind the tree. But sometimes I overlap it, like, see how I didn't fill that in there?
Yeah.
Because it kind of gives it sort of an abstract, modern, Picasso-ish kind of. You can do that with any part of your drawing. So like, for instance, Like here, for instance, I love this. I love this. See what's going on right here?
Mm-hmm.
So maybe what you want to do is you want to like color this part in, and color this part in, and then this part, and then maybe leave this white and do a big leaf, a black leaf here. Do you see what I'm saying? I'm going to ask you something. Have you thought about anybody in this restaurant? Have you thought about the kitchen? Have you thought about anything you're going to do today?
Outside of the restaurant?
No, while you're drawing. Right?
Yeah.
So how nice is that, right?
Yeah, tuning it out.
It's very transcendent. Where are you guys at? Okay. Just finish coloring that in, and then we're gonna move on. Okay. You guys can always finish it on your own time. And with the apparatus, so that had to be super accurate.
Oh, you were like doing the graphic design for that, yeah.
I did pumps, and I did faucet, luxury faucet drawings. I did inside motor or automotive diagrams. You get it. It was super technical. And then I would do, if I ever did an illustration, you know. Diagonals are better than straight up and down. Let's move to the river. So if you get your finer one, the 3. Okay. So a lot of times people, this is too intimidating for them to do water. So what I do is I break up the pieces, and this part, spend a little time, because if you spend a little time, it'll actually, this will actually look pretty cool. So if you look at this, it has you guys have all the colors of black and white. This is like the brightest, this is the darkest, and this is medium, right? So when you look at a drawing, if it's all medium, or if it's all white, or if it's all dark, it gets kind of boring, right? Yeah. So now what we're doing is we're going in between the light and the dark and the medium. Now we're going into like, how the closer you get together, the darker it'll be, the farther apart. We already did that in the tree. So here, yes, perfect. You guys are exactly. So go through just a little bit of the water, and then I'll tell you what to do with the rest. Are you guys gonna get married?
I think that we've definitely talked about it. I think for us, I think we just like kind of know like we're each other's partners, and like I've thought a lot about just like the traditions of like marriage and stuff in general, and like weddings, how weddings go, and I'm like, I don't know if I align with like some of the regular traditions, but like I do like the idea of like celebrating each other and like, our love, our partnership with other people. So I think eventually it'll be maybe in the next like few years or couple years or something.
I like that idea.
Part of it, like, because like I do think about like, I'd like to have a wedding that does like sound fun, but I like don't like a lot of like the traditions of like, oh, the father giving up the daughter. Like I'm like, I obviously love my parents, but like that metaphor of like my dad giving me off to another man, I just don't.
And the sheep.
Exactly.
Literally, I'm like, that's so crazy. I haven't lived with my parents for years. They haven't like taken care of me financially or like whatever. I obviously love them, but I'm like, that just doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, the traditions rooted in marriage are definitely interesting.
Yeah.
And also, speaking of, it's a business. Like the amount of money made off of like weddings. I was talking to a friend who's getting married, and as soon as they told he's getting catering, and they mentioned it's for a wedding, it's like, oh, well, wedding, it's different price point, like.
And if it was just a party.
Yeah, it's like, oh, you'll have to like renegotiate because this is for a wedding.
It's like getting art equipment or art supplies out of a hardware store.
Oh yeah.
Way
Mm.
cheaper. They have almost all the same things except maybe canvases you can get online.
Yeah.
Okay, go to the fish. And again, don't worry about how big the eyes are. If you want to make one with like super big eyes, The only thing I would say about fish is like the tail is in the back, the eyes are in the front, and the gills go in this direction, you know?
Yeah.
So my go-to is I put the eye, I put the gill, and then I do like this.
Scales.
And if you don't want to do that, you can do this. So this one, I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to go like this, and then this one here, I'll just do
that's cute.
Cross hatching. You guys gonna do the rest of the day chores?
Honestly, yeah, wasn't really good about cleaning up the house much this week. I get in those like moods where I'm like, I can't. We'll save this for another day.
Yeah.
Cleaning up, but probably that. I think you were gonna watch some soccer. I think soccer's on.
Yeah. Soccer final.
Oh no, I don't think so.
No, it's at noon.
This is the first cat that either of us have ever had, and
Yeah.
I'm like such a cat person now. I'm obsessed with her. She's so cute.
Down here at the shore,
Uh-huh.
at the shoreline, close to the river, I'm gonna make these circles that are like bushes. Okay, so I'm gonna make them random. You can even have them overlap like this. And we won't put any here yet, but inside they're going to be little berries or flowers. So you're going to make them look like little chocolate chip cookies here. Let me check this. Make sure I don't want to run out of. Oh, it's shaking. Do it again. Don't shake.
Don't shake.